Chapter 9, Part 2, Estimating Ending Inventory Using Average Cost and Conventional Retail Methods. These would be done like clothing stores like Nordstrom's or, any store that, the Nordstrom's Rack, Macy's, they would use these methods. Now, estimating, again, the retail method is used by retailers to value inventory without a physical count, assuming it gets as close to the real amount as possible, can be used for financial reporting under GAAP and also for IRS purposes. So, here are what I'm going to walk through are the traditional transactions and whether you add or subtract them. So, we have beginning inventory is always an add, purchases are an add, purchase returns and allowances are deduction, purchase discounts are a deduction, freight in is an add, net markups minus markup cancellations are an add, net markdowns minus markdown cancellations is a deduction. Abnormal shortages, these are not estimated in the sales price, these are subtracted. So it doesn't matter what method you use, these are always going to be subtracted before we do our percentage calculation. Normal shortages, these are estimated as part of the sales price. And employee discounts. Normal shortages estimated included in the sales price, and employee discounts are treated as adjustments that are made after the retail calculation regardless of the method used. So remember, abnormal is before the percentage, normal and employee discounts are after the percentage calculation. So in this presentation, we're going to go through average cost and conventional retail. Okay, retail inventory methods. Now a lot of it has to do is when you subtract or add in. Between these two is when you add or subtract the markups, markdowns. So the average cost method, we compute the cost to retail ratio after markups and markdowns. So now what I'm going to do is walk you through that formula, and you might want to take a picture of this slide because this kind of gives you, if you use this format, you'll get your homework right. So what we're going to do is we start with beginning inventory, and that's an add, then purchases, purchase returns and allowances, purchase discounts, and freight in, and again that will be referred to in your problem as net purchases. Then we have net markups minus cancellations and markdowns. Now we have what we're going to use to come up with our percentage, or retail percentage. So we've got the total cost of goods available for sale and retail. So we've got it based on cost and retail. And now we can come up with our percentage. And we're going to take the total at cost and the total at retail, and that's going to give us our retail percentage. When we're then going to deduct sales, net sales, we're going to deduct shortages, and we're going to deduct employee discounts. And so now we're going to get our estimated ending inventory at retail. We're then going to take that number times the percentage, and that's going to give us our ending inventory at retail. If we subtract that from our total cost of goods available for sale, we get our estimated cost of goods sold. Now let's look at an actual problem. So let's take a look at that. Okay, here's our problem. It has it all. It has, it doesn't give you net purchases. It tells you purchases, freight on purchases. It gives you markups, markup cancellations, which means we have to subtract them out. We've got abnormal shortage. We got markdowns. You got to subtract out those markdown cancellations. It's got employee discounts. It gives you sales revenue, which means you're going to have to subtract out those sales returns because we need net sales. And we have normal shortages and purchase returns. So now we can work through our problem using our formula. Okay, we're going to start with beginning inventory plus purchases minus purchase returns and allowances plus freight in plus net markups minus net markdowns minus abnormal shortages. Now we can do our percentage calculation, which says that costs are 0.593%, 59.3% of our retail. So we're going to then subtract out our net sales, our normal shortages, and employee discounts to get our estimated ending inventory at retail. We're going to take that times our percentage, and that's going to give us our ending inventory at cost estimated. We're going to subtract that from our estimated cost, our total cost of goods available for sale to get our estimated cost of goods sold. Now let's go to the retail inventory method. The retail inventory method. And we're going to now look at conventional. Computes the cost to retail ratios before markdowns. That's the only difference. So it's before markdowns. So our formula is going to look like this. Net markups, but then we compute our retail percentage, then we take out our markdowns to come out with cost of goods available for sale and retail with markdowns. Then we deduct our net sales, normal shortages, and employee discounts. And now we're going to come up with our percentage to estimate cost of goods sold. So now let's take a look at an actual problem. It's actually the same problem. So now we're going to work it through using our formula. We're going to first add up our beginning inventory, our purchases, minus our purchase returns, plus our freight. Net markups are going to be in addition to retail, and abnormal shortages will be subtracted out. Now, we then can come up with our percentage. Now, if you notice, it's different than the last one. Now it's 58.2%. Now we can adjust for our markdowns, which are subtracted out. We're going to then adjust for our sales, net sales minus normal shortages and employee discounts. And now to come up with ending inventory, we're going to take that percentage times ending inventory at retail to get it at estimated cost. We're going to subtract that from cost, and that gives us an estimated cost of goods sold. And that completes part 2 of the retail method.